How do you think this film should start?
Yeah, so the idea I had was the camera is following me and I'm saying, okay, it's 4:45 in the morning.
4:40 a.m.
And I'm gonna go play hockey with 22 other crazies. And the camera follows me to the rink and it's dark. And then the guys start rolling in. And as the camera's rolling there, I said, hey, Rich, hey, you know.
What does that have to do with you selling the first computer?
Nothing.
This year, I became a parent. And when I was pregnant, my mother-in-law told me that when your baby is born, you'll have this moment when you look at her and think,
I love this baby so much. Is this how my parents felt about me? And suddenly you see your parents in a whole new light.
And since my baby was born, this thought has hit me like a ton of bricks.
Hello.
I always felt like I knew everything there was to know about my parents, but now I realize there's so much I don't know. I mean, I had to ask if my mom breastfed me.
I don't know, I think everybody was breastfed until they were 4.
The point is, there are a lot of stories we don't know about our parents. Take, for instance, my dad. He tells a lot of stories. But somehow, my siblings and I missed this really big one. That he sold the first personal computer in Canada. Did you know that our dad sold the first IBM PC?
Honestly, no.
No, I didn't know.
I don't think that's true, actually.
That is true.
You know that as a historical fact?
Yeah.
My name is Big Lou. I sold the first IBM personal computer in Canada.
But before we get too carried away, there are a few things you need to know about computers in the 1970s. Back then, most of the world thought a computer looked like this, when in actuality, they looked like this, and whatever this is.
This is definitely a blast from the past, I'll tell you.
But best known was the Apple II. Yes, that Apple. And it was popular, but mainly with these kind of guys. And although these were computers that were personal, they weren't the personal computer. That was still to come. These were known as microcomputers, and that's what my dad sold when he opened his first store called Computerland. The year was 1978, and my mom changed our lives when she told my dad to get his teeth cleaned.
And I said, it's time for everybody to have dental checkups, including you, dear.
And there in the dentist chair, he picked up a Fortune magazine and read an article.
That's entitled, "The Computer Stores Have Arrived." It was like a light bulb flipped on.
The article talked about these newfangled things called computer stores, and specifically a chain called Computerland. My dad called them, flew to California, and bought the right to open the franchise in Canada.
We used all of our money to buy the franchise.
And everyone thought I was crazy and told me I was making a big mistake doing this, that I didn't know what I was talking about. For the first 2 weeks, I may have sold a board, or some kind of board, for a few $100s or whatever, but nobody really knew us, and it was quiet. After a few months, I get a phone call from my bank. He says, "You're $24,000 over your credit limit. I'm going to be the fastest opening and closing Computerland store."
The electronic spreadsheet has revolutionized financial planning.
What's an electronic spreadsheet? Sounds like a new sort of electric blanket.
What saved us was one product. The product was called VisiCalc, and it was the first spreadsheet.
Before spreadsheets, people used a ledger, pencil, calculator, and most importantly, an eraser to do anything with numbers. And if one thing changed, you'd have to redo everything. But with VisiCalc,
And all you do is push a button and you see it all recalculating on the screen. And the next thing you know, they ask, how much and how soon can I get it?
VisiCalc only cost $250, but to run it, you had to buy a $2,500 microcomputer.
So one of these a month paid the rent.
So VisiCalc saved the store, but it didn't make computers a household item.
Until another seminal event happened that basically changed everything in the industry.
The year is now 1981, and computers are still primarily for guys like this. But IBM was about to change that.
You want me to read from the book? Rumors of IBM's new microcomputer.
Side note, this book is about Computerland. My dad is in it.
Lou Bercovitch, S-I-C, misspelt.
And since starting this film, he now reads it to everybody.
Lou Bercovitch, misspelt. Rumors of IBM's new microcomputer had been stoked by trade magazines for months. The world knew it was coming. It was just a question of when. One day, I get a phone call.
It was IBM, and there was good news and bad news. The good news? They wanted to unveil their new personal computer at Computerland's International Trade Show in Toronto that my dad was hosting.
However, a new hitch came up.
The bad news? IBM was not ready to sell the PC in Canada.
Christ, that will go over well. You announce the hottest new computer product in Toronto, Canada, and then tell them, oh, by the way, you can't buy that. That's just for Americans.
When Computerland heard that, they said, fine, but don't come to our trade show.
So now all of a sudden IBM announces a product on a Wednesday and they have nobody to sell it on Thursday.
After years in the making, this was about to ruin the launch of the PC. And the project's manager, Mike Shabazian, could not let that happen. He negotiated with IBM headquarters and convinced them to sell the PC in Canada, only hours before the conference was about to begin. But there was still one more catch. It was the middle of the night and he needed my dad's signature.
At 3 a.m, he pulled the Mary Bercovitch into his room and told him, you gotta sign. Bercovitch had to have his lawyer look at the document. The lawyers meant days and Shabazian had hours. You gotta sign, he repeated. There's no time. But the most persuasive argument was, if you can't trust IBM, who can you trust? Pictures were taken as Bercovitch wrote his signature on the historic document. This is sort of like the Constitution. That was the introduction on August 12th, 1981, of the IBM personal computer. I was the first store to receive it and the first person to sell it. End of story.
We made this film over Christmas, so now my whole family knows the story. And I found out why I had never been told it before.
It's just obscure information. Nobody cares.
But I care!
You care because you're unique.
And the truth is, we'll never know all the stories. Hell, so much happens to our parents before we were born or as we were babies. But when we go to enormous lengths to all be together like we did this Christmas, and get generation with generation with generation, that leads to questions being asked and stories being told. And at the end of the day, that's what tells the people we love that we care.